Hey guys, this is going to be a Taisho Productions 1 Airsoft review, and today we have the Desert Warrior 4.3. I bought this off of Airsoft GI for $125, and they have two different versions, which I noticed. They have a $115 package, which is just the gun itself and the magazine, and no threaded barrel. And I got the $125 package, which comes with two magazines and the threaded barrel. I find that that's more practical, since $10 is probably not going to be the same amount of money that's going to cost you to buy an extra magazine and the threaded barrel separately. So, anyways, moving on. This is the box it comes with. It's just a typical cardboard box, nothing fancy. And you open it, and first thing you get is your manual. It has a M1911 on the cover. I am not sure why. I guess they have the same functionality or something like that, but the manual itself has a bit of foreign languages, so if you're here in America, you're going to want to kind of look at a combination of the pictures and captions, or simply Google it, which seems to be the answer to everything. This is the gun itself. It's a nice, beautiful gun. I think it's really solid. Feels great, has a nice heavy weight. You pull it out and you feel like you're really going to take someone out with it. But it's entirely constructed of metal, and the only parts that are actually plastic are the grip right here, which is a high composite plastic, high quality, and overall it feels solid. I mean, you could drop this several times and it's not going to break. So this is the magazine. They are also fully constructed of metal. They hold 16, and then you could have +1 in the chamber. Single stack, may I remind you. Double stack magazines will not work in this gun, so you have to buy these single stack ones. Well, I haven't had any leaking problems at least. So, really high quality, really reliable, so get them. Now, another variation of the magazine is they have a silver one, which I bought additionally. So, a slight variation, depending on if you like that kind of blingy look. They both function the same, but well, just a different appearance. So moving on, here is the gun. Box aside. And here you have it. The gun itself is very solid, as I said. The sights are adjustable, right and left. I am not sure if they go up and down. I haven't really adjusted the sights too much. They do sport white dots for quick picking up the sights. It does have some markings. Well, actually just one. Right here, the ejector port, it says 45 ACP, which is the round it would carry if this were to be a real gun. Now, as I said, the gun itself is entirely constructed of metal. Just about everything here is nice and solid, so you're not going to have any problems. And first thing I want to go off on is the actual safety. It's actually pretty interesting, because if you pick up the gun itself and just tap the trigger, it's not going to go off. That's because there's three safeties. There's the hand grip safety, which you have to press for the trigger to actually pull back. And then, if you pull it out by itself, and you pull it out and you don't have the hammer back, and you just shoot like that, nothing's going to happen. I actually figured that out while I was filming the intro to this video. So what you have to do first is you have to make sure you rack a round in. If there's no round in the chamber, it will not fire, as I figured out. So, if you have your 16 rounds in here, no round in the chamber, and you pull it out, and you pull back the hammer, which you have to do for it to even fire and strike the gas thing, it will not fire. There's no BB. For some reason, it knows that there's no BB inside, and it will just simply do as I'm doing now. So, now in the case that you do have a BB inside the chamber, which would be like that, and the hammer's back, it will fire. And you could keep on going from there. So, the last safety, almost missed it, is the ambidextrous safety right here. I don't know if you can really see it. Now, what's interesting is the hammer has to be back for the safety to work. It does lock the slide. The slide's not going to go anywhere. And it locks the trigger. Even with pressing the grip safety, it's not going to go off until this is released. So, now, mind you, the hammer has to be back for it to work. If the hammer isn't, you put the safety and it kind of goes up like halfway, and I guess it kind of has sort of a ghetto kind of function, but after racking it a bit, it's gonna just fall down on you. So, onto performance of this gun. It does shoot around the neighborhood of 300 FPS. It starts off that height, and with gas guns, depending on the temperature of your environment, the FPS will vary. Usually it's around 300, and as you continuously fire, it'll drop down to a steady 280 FPS, which is pretty good for a pistol. If you're doing CQC, or CQB rather, matches, you're definitely going to function fine with this. And if you're one of those people that like their quick trigger, shooting super fast, wasting their ammo like crazy, then this is definitely the gun for you. Now I say this because the gun has a surprisingly sensitive trigger. It is like ridiculous. The first time I shot it, I barely bumped it and fired it, and I almost like shot my friend in the leg. So you definitely gotta watch out for that. The trigger has probably half an inch of pull, and it's very sensitive. So if you're out there just barely tapping the trigger like that, you're gonna get every shot off. So no double action problems here. Now the gun itself, the slide, without any ammo in, locks back like so. You simply click this release lever right here, and the slide will drop back forward. So after your last round fired, which all other pistols will do this, the slide will lock back. This way you know you're out of ammo. You can drop the magazine using this button right here. Comes out really nice and smooth, mind you. As you can see it, on the slightest incline, it'll come out. And then you grab your new magazine, pop it in, release, and you're ready to go. Now with this gun, like other high Kappa models, you cannot rack release. It won't do this. I've tried it loaded, and you cannot rack release. You have to press the release lever, or else nothing will happen. So, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, well, not a big problem, but the first thing you should do once you get this gun is get some silicone lube and just kind of get the magazines, lube them back here on the gas port and the gas tube, kind of lube the spring, stuff like that, and the gun itself, lube in the mag catch, down in the chamber, down the barrel, just parts that would be metal on metal, because you don't want that, especially with dirt buildups. If you go in skirmishes, it's going to get pretty clinky after a while. So lube it up and it'll work fine. To release the slide off, you first have to remove the magazine, like so, and then you pull the slide back. There's a little indentation right here, I don't know if you can see it, underneath my finger right there, and you pull it back and align it with this button. So you pull it back about, let's see, where is it? Right there. It's about halfway, and you simply push this button right here, the slide release button, and you pop it out. The piece will come right out nice and smooth, and your slide is off. You can now lube internal parts, whatever you want to do, and the hop up is accessible right here. There is a small wheel in behind the spring, with you simply adjust it up, down, and your hop up will vary. Now this gun does come with a rail, so you can mount whatever tactical light, laser, whatever you like on your gun. And one thing I did notice, which after I fired the gun a few times, the rail did come loose. Now, don't be alarmed, this is no reason to complain or not get this gun. It is a simple fix. Just take off the slide like I had demonstrated, and there'll be 2 screws right here. I don't know if you can see them, but those are the screws to this rail, which you can remove and take it off, and it'll look like the regular bottom receiver of a normal 1911. Now, what I did to fix this problem, since every time I tightened it, I would shoot it, and it would come loose again. I simply took out the screws, got some Loctite, put it in the creases, put the screws back on, let it sit for a little bit, and it's solid. I've shot it hundreds of times, and it's perfect. So, a quick, easy fix for what can be alarming at first. So, let me put this back on real fast, and then we'll continue. Trust me, it is not as difficult as I am demonstrating right now. I am just screwing up. And there you go. Now, okay, for those of you that are out wanting to buy an airsoft pistol and whatever you want to get, definitely your first airsoft gun shouldn't be a gas pistol, especially if you're going to want to skirmish, because you're going to be popping off 16 rounds and you're going to have to spend your money on gas and stuff, and some guy's going to light you up 100 rounds while you're reloading. So definitely get an AEG first, which is what my recommendation is. But the most inexpensive savior to your pistol that you can get is a lanyard hook, which this 1911 does come with a lanyard hook on the bottom behind the magazine. This, you clip this into your belt and simply wrap this around this hook, which I'll do right now. And boom, clip this to your belt, and now you have a cord that will secure your gun. So there's been countless times where I've gone airsofting and some guy's always complaining, "Have you seen my gun? I've lost it." And some of these guns, they go up to like $200, $300, which is pretty insane for a pistol in my opinion. But so this is the most least expensive solution you can find to losing your gun. If you drop it, you're definitely going to feel the pull. So that saves you from wasting $125 by spending $25. So, moving on, let me take this off real fast. As I said, taking out the gun, it does have a threaded barrel. It is counterclockwise, or negative, for whatever you want to call it. And you can buy a smaller sized Gemtech mock silencer, which looks pretty nice. It gives it kind of a James Bondy look. Simply screw it on counterclockwise, make sure it's nice and snug, and there you go. Gives it a nice sleek kind of, I'm gonna snipe you with my little snippy gun kind of thing. I don't know what the hell I just said, but anyways. So here's a little accessory, whatever you want. It does not change the function of the gun. It's not going to silence it, but it's fun for, you know, theatric purposes or just to look cool and kind of give yourself that little secret agent kind of look. And there you go. Take this off fast. So this has been the Taisho Productions 1 review of the Desert Warrior 4.3.